The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV that isn't just built for one thing, it's precision-crafted for everything. To escape the grind with available all-wheel drive. To go with your flow with available Google built-in.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Okay, turning up the volume. And crafted to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision-crafted performance.
Take your vibes and go, 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 go.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my podcast, Esme's Country Life. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about caring for baby seals at a wildlife centre, having Christmas in April, as well as a life hack for swimming this summer. But before we begin, I just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsor of the podcast, Red Post. Red Post is an equestrian and country store based in the UK, but they also ship all over the world. And as I've said before, summer is coming. You need to get your summer essentials, your fly rugs, your fly spray. Any of you guys competing out there, get your competition gear. This week or last week, I have given all of my horses a spring bath. So maybe you need to get some more shampoo. Maybe you've lost your sweat scraper or your hoof pick. I feel like hoof pick's one of those things that everybody just always ends up losing. So if you need a spare hoof pick, spare pair of socks, do you know where you can get them? Red Post Equestrian. So you can shop at redpostequestrian.co.uk. And again, based in the UK, ship around the world. Thank you to Red Post for sponsoring. Anyway, let's get into today's podcast episode. I thought I would start off as this morning, actually, I've been doing this thing where in the mornings I quite like to go for a morning swim at my local gym. So I went for a swim, and as I've been doing a little bit more swimming, I always find that if I've been working out or that kind of thing, swimming is kind of like my hydrotherapy afterwards. I love to just like jump in the pool for 10 minutes, have a little swim at the end of my session, kind of as my cool down, and I find that really helps with my muscle recovery. But I have sensitive skin. I am one of those people where I'm pretty sure I am mildly allergic to chlorine. Now, chlorine, I think most people, it's probably not that great for your skin, dries you out. So I've actually done a little bit of research, and I thought, oh my gosh, as soon as I figured out this life hack, I was like, I need to tell the podcast, because I know a lot of you guys are like me, you're quite active, like to go for a swim, especially with summer around the corner. I know people are going to be swimming a little bit more, but did a little bit of searching, and I found out how to basically combat if you struggle with chlorine like I do with my sensitive skin. So this is what the internet told me, and I've been doing it so far, and it's actually been working so well. So the first thing is, because I normally know that if I'm going to swim, it's probably first thing in the morning. So what I do the night before is I moisturize with coconut oil. It can be like any sort of moisturizer. Apparently it's not very good for the pool filters, so that's why I do it the night before, and it gives my skin some time to soak it all in. So hopefully I'm not all oily in the pool, because that's probably not very good. But making sure you're moisturized before, which is kind of self-explanatory, but this next thing really helps. So I have bought myself some body wash that is a vitamin C body wash, because apparently vitamin C basically neutralizes the chlorine. So after going in the pool, I am that person that I always have to shower. From like a young age, when my mum and dad would take me swimming at the local swimming pool, we would be with that family that has a shower after swimming, and sometimes also a shower when we got home as well, because I don't know what it is. Showering in like a swimming pool shower, you just never really feel like you get all the chlorine off. Maybe that's me. I don't know. But anyway, I've been using this vitamin C body wash, and it's been helping so much. And then after that, I moisturize with a vitamin C body butter. Oh my goodness, this one that I have, it smells so nice. It smells of oranges and mangoes. So basically, after I've been swimming, my family now can always tell if I've been swimming, because I waltz on into the house and I smell like, mangoes and oranges. So if you want to know what I'm smelling like right now, that is what I'm smelling like. So that is a little life hack for any of my swimmers out there. There'll probably be loads of people here that do like competitive swimming listening, and they're like, Esme, actually, you should do this and this. But that's what's been helping me, and that's what the internet told me. So if you are like a proper like swimming every day, doing competitions, a proper swimmer. I'm just like a try and keep fit, make me happy swimmer, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm such a water person. Like any sort of water activities, get me in that lake, get me in that river. I love to swim. So yeah, leave me some comments, because if you guys do have any other swimming life hacks, do let me know, because that would be very appreciative. Anyway, so next, as we're talking about water, I need to tell you about my trip last week to see some baby seals. Well, actually, it wasn't just baby seals that we saw, but they were, I mean, that's what I'm going to be titling this podcast, because who doesn't want to hear about baby seals? Anyway, so we went to an RSPCA wildlife centre. It's called Mallee Dams, and basically the RSPCA is one of the biggest animal charities in the UK, and they, of course, have rehoming centres for domesticated animals such as dogs, cats, horses, reptiles, all that fun stuff. But they also have wildlife centres. Now, these wildlife centres don't take in any domesticated animals. They just take in wild animals, and they take in any sort of wild animals that the general public bring in. So, for example, seals are quite often. They have a lot that come in because many different reasons. The main reasons why they come in is because of either lungworm or dog attacks, or sometimes boats and, you know, fishing nets they can get stuck in. So they take them in, and they have like a little animal hospital there as well, which kind of brought me back to my days where I used to work at a vet's practice when I was 16. I was a kennel girl, so basically I was a glorified cleaner at a vet's, but it felt cool because I was dealing with animals and a lot of animal mess. So anyway, that was good fun. So it really brought me back kind of when I walked in. One thing that I would say though is seals, you won't be able to see this in the video because I don't know when it's going to be out, but I have done a full YouTube video of it if you would like to see the actual footage of the baby seals, because they are very cute. But I'm going to tell you the stories today. It smells. But if you can imagine, you know, rotting fish, like a rotting fish kind of smell, that is what baby seals smell like. And they also, seal pups, they eat a lot of fish as well. One thing, I was absolutely mind blown by how much fish these guys eat. So they literally eat 10% of their body weight every day in fish. And I was like, oh my goodness, these guys are greedy guts. But to be fair, they're growing pups, and they've got to get their strength up. So there was kind of lots of different sections to the seal area. So we kind of had like stage 1, which was where they were inside in a little kind of room. They were often very, very poorly at this stage, so they weren't moving around much. They had little beds that they were laying on. Some of the ones that were a little bit more well, they had like I was going to say a foot, not even that, half a foot of water in the bottom of their kind of area, so they could feed in the water, which is obviously more natural for them, and they could have a little splash in the water. And then once they were well enough, they went to stage 2, which was an area outside where they had a pool, but it wasn't super deep, and it was a smaller area, so they could get their strength up, so they could have a little bit of a swim, but also they had areas where they could lie down. And then they had stage 3, which was a big pool, and this was about 6 foot deep. There were multiple seals in this as well, and this was really just to like build up their fitness before they get released to the wild. So all of the animals that come into this wildlife centre, they all get released to the wild eventually, so that's really, really lovely. So anyway, I got it's quite a lot actually when you're filming, because you get given all this information. So I was like told, okay, these are the seals, this is how long they've been in, this is their age, this is what's wrong with them. And I basically felt like I had to be like a I don't know, just like a little memory. Yeah, I have to have very good memory with my job, because I was taking in all this information and I had to basically regurgitate it. That doesn't sound very nice. It sounds like anyway, I had to spiel back all of this information and say it in like a fun way as well, which actually on that day, I did an alright job. I felt like I remembered quite a lot of the facts. So you really do have to have your listening ears on, because the last thing you want to do is say the wrong thing and then be really embarrassed as the head wildlife person there goes, no, you've actually said that wrong. Can you do that bit again? That is not accurate. But one thing that was really cool is all of the seals, they kind of like name them. Not all of the animals they name, but the seals, they have a lot of human contact, and so they get named. And they had one seal, which it's best name ever. It was called Mario Kart, and I thought that was so funny because they have like a different theme each year. So this year was games. I'm pretty sure they had one called my mind has gone blank. Beep 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 beep. What was some of their names? Okay.
Is anyone out there?
Another salesperson enduring the endless search. Exhausting. If you want to get right to the right conversations, you need LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Whether you're looking for new leads or strengthening existing relationships at your top accounts, get right to the right conversations with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Try LinkedIn Sales Navigator now with a free 60-day trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial.
Terms and conditions apply!
Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
Sass. But talking about Mario Kart, can we just take a second? Now, you guys know I have a Nintendo Switch. I'm a Nintendo Switch girly. I did a whole podcast episode all about gaming, and to be fair, I spend a lot of time on long car journeys or plane journeys or whatever for my job, getting to A to B. So every now and again I like to play a little game. The new Switch 2 has come out, which I was a big Animal Crossing fan. I was like, oh, will there be a new Animal Crossing game? Sorry, this is not interesting to my non-gamers out there, but the one thing that I was absolutely shocked by, the new Mario Kart game, guess how much it's going for? $90. What in the world is going on? That is extortionate. And also, if you want to play any of the new games, you can't play it on your old one. You have to play it on the new one. The new one is like $500. It's $500. What is going on with the world? I mean, I know Nintendo is successful and people are going to buy it regardless. But my goodness, if I was a kid and I turned around to my parents and said, "Can you buy me a $90 game?" they'd be like, "Girl, what are you going on about?" I mean, this might be controversial, but I feel like Mario Kart on the Nintendo Wii, nothing will top that. The one on the Switch is great. The one on the DS is great. But on the Nintendo Wii, that's the OG. Anyway, moving on. That is my little rant of the week. I really hope that other people also agree with me that is extortionate. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, they had so many adorable seals, and my favourite thing is that this guy came up to me who actually, it was so sweet because he recognised me. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're Esme, my granddaughter watches your videos." So I did like a little video on his phone for his granddaughter Ava. So, hey Ava. Anyway, moving on. He came up to me and was like, "Would you like to feed the seals because it's their lunchtime now?" Oh my goodness, I felt like all of my childhood dreams came true because at my local kind of wildlife park / zoo kind of place, you could feed the penguins on your birthday, never got to do that. So I felt like I was living my childhood dreams being able to feed these seals, which is probably better because these seals will eventually be released into the wild, which is a lot nicer so than probably the poor penguins. Anyway, moving on. So and then they had loads of other animals there as well. They had some foxes that we weren't allowed to get too close to. We could kind of like peer through this little gap, this little hole in the window, because fox cubs, they are very good at imprinting on humans, and obviously these animals are going to be released into the wild, so they weren't allowed to see us basically. But from what I saw for a little brief second through a little peephole, I felt like a little creep being like, oh, hello little baby foxes, you can't see me but I'm peering in at you. They were so cute. Somebody was having some building work done, so they had, I'm pretty sure it was like a garage or a shed, they had that demolished, but what they didn't realise is there was a whole fox den underneath, and obviously all the building work scared off the mum, ran away. I don't know if she ran away with some of the other cubs or if some of the cubs got left behind. Well, anyway, there was 2 cubs found on their own, and they did all the right things to leave them for the mother to come back to them, because apparently it's really, really rare for a mother fox to leave cubs behind. A lot of the time, if they do get split up, she'll come and find them, but in this case, unfortunately, she didn't come back. Maybe she was scared off by the building work. So anyway, they were taken into Malidam's care, and then once they are kind of strong enough, they will be released into the wild. It was also very cool. We saw they have some woodland there that was donated to them, and right at the bottom of the woodland, they have this kind of outdoor pen, which is where the fox cubs will be going at around, I think it's around sometime in the summer. So once they're old enough, they'll be feeding them there, and then they'll open up the door so they can go out into the wild if they want to, and they'll continue feeding them. Some might come back for a little bit of food, and then once they're old enough and ready, a bit like in the wild when they're like, okay mum, see you later, I'm a big boy now, I can go off on my own. It's a little bit like that, which is very cool. So the plan was at some stage to maybe film one of the seal releases, because apparently I was talking to some of the volunteers there. Apparently it's the cutest thing, because what they do is they kind of bounce off. Well, I guess, yeah, seals, they kind of bounce, don't they? They kind of go oink, oink. Actually, tell you what, some seals, if you've ever heard what seal sounds like, there was this one, and it sounded like it was screaming. Like, they make the weirdest noise. I think that one knew that it was food time. The worst was when I was feeding the seals. There was one, it was the stage 2 enclosures. I didn't realise that there were 2 in this enclosure. And I was just feeding one, and the other poor little guy, which is obviously a little bit lower in the pecking order, it was behind the door, because obviously you can't have the door fully wide open, because if not, those seals, they can move, they can shift. You don't want them running about town, do you? So they had these like little boards they put across, but obviously the door wasn't completely wide open, because its friend, the one that was getting all the food, that guy, he was feisty. He was main character energy, wanting to get to the front, greedy, wanting all the food. I had no clue that his BFF, little shy guy round the corner, was behind the door, and I just remember his poor little face, because my dad was like, Esme, are you not going to feed this one round here? And I've never felt so awful in my life. I was like, oh no, the poor little guy, he's not getting any food. So anyway, see, these are the stories you get on the podcast that you probably won't get in the YouTube video. So I feel like you guys, you get the proper, all the details, all the gossip, what goes on, the little funny stories as well. So yeah, that was pretty much my they also had a oh yeah, I didn't tell you about the seal release. The thing that they said that's really cute, a lot of the seals, as they go out to sea, they turn around and kind of look at you almost as in like a, oh, thank you, and then they go bouncing off into the ocean. And apparently they do go quite far, because some of them they do chip, and they've gone as far as France, and some go up north. They go all over the place. So it's really lovely to see that, you know, these seals that often are very young, they are pups or only a few months old, do make it in the end, and they live very long lives going off. So there we go. A win for the seals and a win for the British wildlife. So thank you so much to the RSPCA for very kindly inviting me. Lots of fun videos coming to my channel about animals, rescue, wildlife, bits and bobs, because I know you guys also love animals, and who doesn't want to see baby seals? So that was super fun. Next, I need to talk to you about Christmas in April, because you might be thinking, Esme, what on earth do you mean when I did the intro of today's podcast episode? So I can tell you, Batman, my boyfriend, he is now back from the Seychelles. Woo! He's been back for a little while now, and we decided, because he was away for Christmas, and he is a big Christmas person, you know. He loves Christmas, and he was like, you know what? Coming back to the UK, he says it feels really weird. He feels like even though he kind of had a Christmas out there, it wasn't like his family weren't there, and I felt like that's a big thing about Christmas, his family. And he just really missed it. So we had a fake Christmas for him in April, in the middle of a heat wave where it was like 24 degrees outside. So, but to him, that was still chilly because he's used to Seychelles weather. He's still acclimatizing. So we were all there in like summer clothes and he was there in a woolly jumper. I did try to look kind of Christmassy, you know. I don't have them in anymore, but I had some little snowflake earrings. I had a little red bow in my hair, had a little red jumper on that. To be fair, I did wear my red jumper for quite a bit. I am one of those people that I do get quite cold quite easily. But we had a roast dinner. That was really lovely. Had Christmas music on. I remember walking in and smelling mince pies that apparently his mum put in the freezer to save them for him and into his family home. And I was like, oh my gosh. And they had like some holly that they kind of put up. And I was like, this is the most bizarre thing ever. And do you know what was really weird? You know that kind of time after you have your Christmas dinner or your Christmas lunch and everyone kind of just like sits on the sofa and lounges around and digests. I remember going on my phone to like reply to a friend who messaged me. I got a notification and I was on Instagram and I remember being like, oh, I wonder what everyone else is doing on Christmas today. And then I was like, wait a minute, it's not Christmas. That was the only time where my brain really thought it was Christmas. We also did like a little big family walk afterwards, which was quite fun. So yeah, Christmas in April, it was a very strange one. And we had Christmas pudding as well. That was put in the freezer from over December because apparently his family didn't actually have any Christmas dinner on actual Christmas, because I'm pretty sure this year there was a Christmas pudding shortage. Because I remember my grandma, me and my dad were like on our way back from this business meeting in the car, and my grandma rang us and she was like, it's an emergency. And we were like, what do you mean it's an emergency? What's gone wrong? She was like, there's no Christmas pudding coming on our online or shop for Christmas. So I had to quickly go online and get Christmas pudding. So anyway, we had Christmas pudding last weekend. So that was great fun. Very lovely. So Christmas in April. Didn't ever thought I would do that. I see, I'm not one of those people that really listens to Christmas music throughout the year. I've got some friends that absolutely love Christmas. In August, they'll have just a day listening to Christmas music because they miss Christmas so much. But like, I like Christmas, but that feels so wrong to me. So wrong. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you listen to Christmas music not at Christmas, because to me, no, I can't do it. Can't do it. You can only do it at Christmas time unless you're having a fake Christmas. So it was also quite funny because we'd obviously all exchanged our presents over the Christmas period. So it kind of felt like Batman's birthday because everyone just gave him his Christmas presents. So we had that all, it's always, I don't know, I find it really awkward when it's your birthday and everyone's watching you open your presents. I don't know, maybe that's just me. So we were all teasing him about that. But no, we had a very lovely Christmas in April. Also, what else have I been up to this week? This week, oh my gosh, I had the best shopping trip ever. Now, I've spoken about this a few times before on my podcast, that living in the middle of nowhere, I don't go shopping that often. If I go shopping, I go to shop, if that makes sense. And also, I'm not an online person when it comes to like ordering stuff. I never really order stuff online, like clothes wise. I like to try things online, unless it's like a brand that I always wear stuff from, and I know, I don't know, I like going to the shops, you know. I like making a day trip of it. So me and my friend Georgina, we decided, let's go on a big shopping trip. Now we decided to go to, I was going to say a local outlet. Our local outlet shop is probably about an hour and a half drive, so it's a big trip. You know, you don't just, pop in there, have a little browse, come home. We were in the mood to shop. We were like, okay, let's go. Especially as with my job, I've got quite a few different things coming up, and I was like, okay, I need like a few different dresses for occasions. I didn't want to put too much pressure. I was like, you know what, we'll just see if there's stuff there. If not, no worries. We'll go and have a look around. I don't know what it is, but when I go to this shopping outlet, I always feel like I'm in Florida, because that's the only other really real time that I've been to outlet malls or shopping centres that are outlets, where basically they sell a lot of stuff on discount because it's not in season anymore, which is great because some people, like my grandma, she will say that sort of stuff is rubbish because they're basically just selling off all the stuff that people don't want. But in my mind, they're selling off the stuff that not everybody is wearing. You can be like, not like other girls. Sorry, that's such a cringe phrase, but they have things that are a little bit different, a little bit unique. Some things that, you know, maybe a little bit Marmite. Some people love them, some people hate them. And I love it because it's like looking for treasure. I'm such like a scavenger. So anyway, we had the shopping angels looking over us. I don't know. Anyway, we had a great day because one of the first shops I went into, I walked in and I was like, oh my goodness, this dress I think is probably one of the most beautiful dresses I've seen in my life. I did put a little picture on my story, but I'll describe it to you. So it's like a baby blue mixed with kind of like a grey silver. So it's like a grey baby blue, really pretty colour. It has little fake pearl beads embroidered onto it. And I think anything with embroidery is just so delicate, so beautiful. And so this was like a £200 dress and it was discounted so much because tell you what, I probably would not pay that much money for the dress, but it was so heavily discounted. I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. But I was so upset because I found the dress in my size and I was like, yes. And then I saw on the little tag, because a lot of the time at these outlet shops, there's sometimes something wrong with the product. So I looked at it and it was like there was a big hole. I was like, oh, I can't see the hole. And then I found it and I was like, maybe like I could have it altered so it's a little bit shorter, and then just like we could take the hole out because it was near the bottom. And I was like, would that really work? Would that look a little bit weird? And then I was like, and then the rest of like looking around that shop, I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, I love that dress so much. Anyway, I went back to it because I just loved it so much. Looked through the rails one more time. They had the dress in my size without a hole, and for some reason the one without the hole was cheaper than the one with the hole, which is so weird. So again, if you ever go shopping at an outlet shop, always check because sometimes the same product is cheaper for some reason. The labels are sometimes a little bit hit and miss. So yeah, tried it on, fit like a glove, and I was like, I think this is my new favourite dress. And I have a ball coming up as well that I can wear it for the summer ball. Oh my goodness, I was so happy. So anyway, there were a few other shops that we went into, found a few other little cute bits and pieces that I'm sure you guys will see eventually over the summer when I do little outfit checks and go to horse shows and have to look smart. So yes, anyway, had a great day. So this might be a little bit TMI, but I have found, not a life hack because I don't want to put pressure on like servers or waiters or that kind of thing. So me and my friend, we booked because at this outlet shop or mall or shopping centre or whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of shops for a lot of people, but there aren't many places to eat. So we were like, we're going to be prepared. We're going to book a table. Because there aren't many restaurants, we went to Pizza Express. I love a good pizza. Anyway, so I know the Pizza Express menu very well, and being a chain restaurant. So we were walking up there. This might be a bit TMI, but I am one of those people that first day of my period, I get quite bad period pain. So bad that I've been to the doctors and have been prescribed like extra strong pain medication, that kind of stuff. Now I'm older, it has got better, luckily. So, but every now and again, there are a few days where I'm like, I'm feeling it today. So I don't know if it's because we were doing a lot of rushing around, walking around, carrying heavy bags, that kind of thing. It was hitting. It was also a very hot day as well, which I feel like sometimes when you're in pain and you're hot and there's a lot of people and you're feeling a bit overstimulated, I just got to the stage where I was like, okay, give me my pain medication. So I said to my friend, we had this joke in my family and she knows it, where we call my mum Tiger Mum sometimes. So my mum, she's such an inspiration. She is the like definition of girl boss. Anyway, so there are a few things where she She not pushy. I wouldn't say like she's not a pushy mum, but if you need help doing something, she is like, I will do anything for my children. For example, my brother, when he moved out and had a job secured, ready to move out, for the life of him, could not find anywhere to rent. He could not find an apartment to rent. Every time he went to view somewhere, by the end of the viewing, the estate agent person would be like, sorry, somebody's already taken this one. So this is a tiger mum story I have for you. She went with my brother first thing in the morning, 9 o'clock, waiting outside the door, went into the estate agents, was like, we would like this apartment unseen. Like, it was getting to the stage where my brother was starting his job next week and he had nowhere to live. And she was like, tiger mum, Max, you need to get in there, get your apartment. Anyway, he now has somewhere to live for his job now he's moved out. But yeah, that's how I would describe tiger mum. Tiger mum won't push you to do things you don't want to do. She'll just help you make sure you get stuff done. So I was like, Georgina, I'm gonna have to be a bit tiger mum. Is that okay? I'd never want to be a Karen, but I was in excruciating pain. So we arrived at this Pizza Express, and as we were sitting down, the guy was like, oh, do you have any dietary requirements? I just said, I'm really sorry. Do you mind if I order some food now? Because I need to take my pain medication. I have never been given food so quickly in my life. I was like, just get me some... I was like, no, I said it really politely. I was like, I'm really sorry to be a pain. I need to take my pain medication. Could I please order some dough balls to come out soon, please, so I can take my medicine? He was like, yeah, sure. I have never been served dough balls so quickly in my life. I've never been served food so quickly in my life. This waiter he was such a guy. We gave him a big tip because he was a legend. So thank you. Little shout out. I don't know, maybe this should be like a little thing I should do in my podcast where, you know, when you just have some days where you have your faith in humanity stored, where you just come across a really nice human. Maybe it's like, I don't know, somebody that's serving you in a shop and they pay you a compliment, or I don't know, just like little like acts of kindness like that, or somebody that holds the door for you. I don't know, I feel like there's a little things where we always in life focus so much on the bad things or the stresses or the things that we're worrying about. But this guy at Pizza Express, shout out to him, he was lovely. He got me my dough balls so I could down my pain medication, and I felt a lot better with the dough balls and the pain medication in my tummy. So there we go. That is my little story for you. That there are some good people left in this world. Alrighty, on that note there, I am going to finish off today's podcast episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I feel like we've had another one where I just talk about lots of little random bits and bobs. I hope you enjoy it. I know a lot of you guys like to hear what I get up to each week, and it's a little bit like chatting with a friend, updating all what I've been up to. Let me know in the comments what you've been up to in the last week. Have you had any fun? Have you had a Christmas this week? Because I feel like that's a very odd thing to have. Or have you ever had a Christmas not on Christmas Day? Let me know. Thank you so much to Red Post for sponsoring the podcast. Go and check out all of their equestrian and country needs. Any bits and bobs that you need to add to cart, go and get it at redpostequestrian.co.uk. Also, if you could subscribe to the podcast, like it, rate it 5 stars, whatever you're on, because all podcast providers are different and they want you to do different things. But whatever you can to help the podcast, really do appreciate it. And I'll see you all next time for another episode where I tell you about lots of strange things happening in my life. See ya. Bye.